Chris Demm said, the guy you worked with.
Yeah, when I was just part-time in the business, and when I mean the business, I'm talking about radio.
Yeah.
He has just celebrated his 50th anniversary on the air.
50. Can you imagine? 50.
50.
Years. Now, I said that I started, as being on the air, I started in 1987 on the Kick and Chicken, little country station. And so 35 years being on the air. And you said his first line.
Yeah, he said he remembers his first words were, "That was Conway Twitty."
That's right. Mine was, I don't know the first word on the Kick and Chicken. It was probably 1260 WKXR. Here's Loretta Lynn. Because we played a lot of the First Lady of Country Music. But now when I went to G105, that station in Raleigh, my first FM station, yes. The first thing I said was, G105 playing 10 in a row. I'm Roman Jeffries. Here's new music from Madonna. And it was Vogue. Excuse me, it was Like a Prayer. And I only had a 7-second lead up to do that. So I had to say, I'm Roman Jeffries, 10 in a row, G105, here's new music from Madonna. And I hit.
Did the hotline ring immediately from the boss?
Yeah, he said, why?
Who are you?
Who are you and what are you doing?
Why are you on my station? The hotline is a private line.
That's right.
Only the bosses have.
That's right. And boy, when it rings, you're like, oh, Christ.
It's the worst.
I say it's like the bat phone. That's what I've always said.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that.
And the bosses used to call it way more frequently.
Oh, yes. That's right. And then, they used to call it all the time. Now they just text you or whatever.
Yeah,
it used to be the hotline ringing, like, oh, my God.
What have I done?
What have I done?
What have I said? Who have I offended?
I'll tell you this. That at that time, that's when I worked with the guy who taught me how to eat a Snickers.
I like the fact that you refer to him constantly as the man who, quote, taught you how to eat a Snickers.
If you don't know the story, I was just eating Snickers. And he said, what are you doing?
Regular style.
You're taking a bite of a candy bar?
What are you doing?
Doing it missionary style.
Right. He said, watch this. He took his own Snickers. He stripped it of all the chocolate, using his tongue and his teeth to take all the chocolate off. He said, now you eat it. It's all messy with caramel and peanuts, and nougat. And I did it, and I said, my God, you're so right. You're so right. I
think if M&M Mars or whoever makes the Snickers bars heard this,
yeah,
they would bar you for life. Disbar you. Because you're doing a disservice to the Snickers.
He told me 3 things. 1, how to eat a Snickers.
Yeah.
2, that he would always do nights. He would always be a night DJ.
That's where the action is?
In fact, he was very cutting edge. He said, I'm going to do a video resume. I said, what are you talking about?
What?
Yeah. Caramel hanging from my lip. What? Nougat.
Flecks of chocolate on your shirt.
Nougat smudged my shirt. What do you
Not much has changed.
I said,
really nothing.
A video resume. He said, yeah, I'm going to set up 2 camcorders in the corner.
Those giant old school
yes.
VHS camcorders.
This was 1989. And he was going to point them both at
I use them for porn mostly.
You got lots of pee. You know what I mean?
And he recorded himself on VHS and then took it to a company to edit it together, so he had a video resume. Very cutting edge. He was very animated in the studio. So he told me, I'll never do nights. He taught me how to eat a Snickers. And then we were talking about college. I was going off to Appalachian State. And he said, where are you going to school? So I'm going to Appalachian State. I said, where'd you go? He goes, I went to Radford. I don't even know where we're at. Is that in Virginia?
Yeah, somewhere in Virginia. I'm not 100% certain.
Small school. I said, was it great for broadcasting? He said, it was great for poon, I'll tell you that. So what do you mean?
Say poon.
No, he didn't say poon. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I got tons of poon up at Radford, man. Tons of it. And I was like, oh, man. What? Really? Yeah, I was like, what?
He called me the Poon King.
Oh. So, 30 years later.
Yeah, we know what to use those cameras for.
Yep.
How many surreptitious recordings of those poor co-eds?
He had two camcorders. Many, many years later, now I'm on a radio board with him. I saw him pop up. Now he's doing mornings. I saw him pop up.
Mornings?
He's doing mornings now. So I emailed her. I messaged him through the board, the radio board, and I said, do you remember me? He goes, no, man. No, I don't have any idea who you are. I said, you taught me how to eat a Snickers. And he said, you've got to be more specific than that. I've taught 100 DJs how to eat a Snickers.
You mean there are more of you?
Yeah, apparently.
I've taught
his disciples.
I've taught. Oh, my God, there's a bunch of us out there eating Snickers that way. And then I said, you said you'd never do mornings. You'd always do nights. He's like, you have to be more specific than that, man. I've moved to mornings. And finally I said, you said you got a lot of poon up at Radford. He's like, Chris. Now I remember. I remember. Yeah. He goes, I married one of those Radford girls. So they're still together to this day. Oh, it's always good.
Oh, special.
It's always good to hear from him. Exactly.
So what? He's got to be like 70 now, yeah?
No, he wasn't that much older than me. He was probably 24. He had just gotten out of college, but he was so good on the air. I mean, he one of those night jocks, just had it all. I was in awe.
Yeah.
I would watch.
What you wanted to be.
He would do the all request countdown, like the top 8 at 8 kind of thing.
He did the top 8 at 8. He did all that. I mean,
it was a lot of work to put those shows together.
He did it. He got all the calls.
The good ones were great.
He was really, really good. I always picture him as a night guy, but he's like mornings where it's at now, man. Mm-hmm. So he had to move to mornings.
You want to watch me eat a payday? No, it's just good catching up.
I got a camcorder in my studio. You want to watch?
I can zoom now.
Yeah, you know he hid those old cameras under dirty clothes in his dorm room.
I'd never accuse.
You don't have to.
I know he had a couple of camcorders, and he did
did.
first to do a
Who
video
has two?
resume.
You got 2 camcorders in the 80s.
He's big into cameras and camera angles. Let me ask you this. I don't know if you heard this yesterday, an update on the controversial Jeopardy category or Jeopardy clue. This was during Celebrity Jeopardy.
I don't look at it.
Me neither.
I don't like celebrity.
It's hosted by Mayim Bialik.
Blossom.
It's a very odd clue. Now, the answer is, what are alligators? All right, but listen to how they get to what are alligators.
In 2021, fugitive Brian Laundrie ended his days in Florida's Myakkahatchee Creek area, home to these long and toothy critters. Joel.
What are alligators?
Yes.
All right, so they used the Brian Laundrie murder of his girlfriend, Gabby Petito, and then his own suicide in that swamp area.
Yeah.
And now Brian Laundrie's family is saying, why would you do
Really,
that?
Jeopardy?
It's awful. I mean, it really is bad. I was very, very surprised.
It is a little shocking.
I'm really
it's such a button-down show, as they say.
Agreed.
Well, they take a little more. They have a little more latitude on that celebrity version.
But there's no.
But that's not loosey-goosey.
Yeah,
that's a murder
Oh,
suicide.
I agree.
Not fun.
I'm with you.
Nothing fun about that.
And we're sure he's dead, right?
Yeah, they found his remains.
Okay.
Yeah.
They found his remains, or of parts of them.
Parts of him.
And a note.
I'm sure it's him.
They did the DNA testing, yeah. Remember, he was on the run. They said he was on the run for a while. He's dead in that swamp.
Yeah.
And they finally, it was very wooded, a swampy area, very difficult to get to.
I'm just saying, if that's where you want to do a fake your death,
Well, you could.
that's how I'd do it.
But
Leave a note.
But they did.
I'm jumping into a gator's mouth.
They found enough of him to confirm.
Think so, yeah.
Now you're not sure, are you?
Well, you heard Mayim Bialik.
Well, yeah. I mean, I
You
trust
heard what she
Jeopardy.
said. You heard what she said.
So you're saying, Chris Demm, you picture him in like a Key West bar answering his own question?
Yeah, he's drinking it up.
What is alligators?
Another pina colada, please.
Alligators.
He doesn't answer anything the whole game except that one.
What are alligators? Hey, you sure woke up.
Another round.
So, more controversy.
So did Blossom get a spanking?
No, just a lot of
Jeopardy. The show has said nothing.
A lot of social media. Nobody said anything from
Yeah.
Jeopardy. Here's some controversy for you. This is from Disney Plus. They have the movie Splash on their streaming service, Disney Plus. I guess it's a Disney company that produced Splash way back in the day. Daryl Hannah's in it. When she goes into the ocean at one point near the end of the movie, you see her naked backside. And Disney Plus, being family friendly, did some CGI where they grew her hair a foot longer than it really is to put it over her buttocks.
Nice,
So
like
you
a
don't-
reverse merkin,
Correct. Yeah.
a butt merkin.
It's a backside, a butt merkin, if you will, and it's over her buttocks. Well, some people who are my age who saw the original movie in theaters,
wait a minute.
say, wait a minute,
That's the part you were waiting on.
where's her butt? Where's her
I
butt?
can't get off to this.
I can't pause it here.
Her hair doesn't even move, man.
So Disney has heard our complaints, and they have shortened the butt
To the
merkin
original
back
length?
to the original length. There is no butt merkin, and now you can enjoy Daryl Hannah's buttocks in full 4K as it's meant to be seen.
Well,
as she walks
That's
off.
a little surprising for Disney.
Yeah, they really did. They obscured her buttocks and butt crack with fake-looking CGI, and so they people did complain, and so they got rid of it. They got rid of it.
The fact that they covered it is bad. The fact that people complain.
I know.
Yeah. Who's complaining about that, really?
Yeah.
I know. I was really surprised. I mean, people noticed it and complained about it. You're right. Wasn't the other day that Biggie got this for us? I had no idea this even existed. We were talking about deep fakes, and we happened to have Arnold Schwarzenegger on or I guess we were talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno. And
it was during the birthday
game. And Biggie said, have you heard these deep fakes of Arnold Schwarzenegger? They put him in a video to make it look like it's actually Arnold Schwarzenegger. They put him in movies he's not actually in. And one of them was from Titanic. This is a scene. This is not really him, obviously.
Jack, I want you to draw me like one of the French girls. Wearing this.
All right.
Wearing only this.
So my thing is, it's amazing how they can do that now. I mean, apparently, with the CGI hair and now this, it's incredible that you can actually do that. I was stunned.
Is there, speaking about like old 80s movies, I know Spielberg got a lot of heat or took some heat from some people when he re-edited E.T. because in the original version of E.T., the extraterrestrial, the feds are chasing E.T. and the kids with guns.
Yes.
And he decided to take the guns out, Spielberg, and now everybody's holding flashlights.
That's right.
Like guns.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Like as if they're
But
guns.
they're giant flashlights.
But they're flashlights.
Is there a version with guns out that exists?
I think now only
Unless
if you have
you
it on
bought
a DVD or VHS.
You bought it.
Yeah.
But only if you bought the old one.
I think so. I think only.
So if you were to stream ET, and I don't know if you can, if you were to stream it,
I bet you can.
you get flashlight ET.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you would, yeah.
You can definitely buy it like on Amazon, and I bet you're right. I bet it's all flashlights now because whoever, I guess, was it Spielberg that made that decision?
Yeah.
to change
That's my
it?
understanding.
Yeah, he didn't want the guns in with the kids movie. Basically, it's like Splash. They didn't want
Butt crack.
crack in there, but that's not a kids movie though. There's a lot of sexual.
really isn't.
I mean,
No, I
there's
was going to
some
say,
sex scenes in
I
that.
remember watching that as a kid and having my mother yell, like, close your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she comes out of the
And you
water
can see
nude.
side boobage and
Yeah.
and her butt.
Isn't there a sex
And
scene
there's
in the tub? I mean, like he's like. Well, he talks about how they had sex so many times in the tub. He like they're kissing and stuff. He's like, I can't believe you want it again, and that kind of stuff, because she's
but it's all
ravenous.
alluded.
Yeah, it's
and
alluded
of course,
to.
John Candy gets his letter printed in Penthouse, which is
That's right.
his crowning achievement.
That's right. So there's that.
Anybody here from Penthouse? We ain't talking.
That's exactly.
Was that
right.
the first Disney non-lighthearted adult film?
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't mean adult film, but
it was a.
That was Touchstone, wasn't it back then?
Yeah,
Is that
they
what
owned,
called it.
and Disney owned Touchstone.
Touchdown.
Speaking of raunchy things on TV, I just was watching White Lotus. Now let me tell you the relationship test I passed yesterday. Biggie hadn't seen this latest episode, but it doesn't even matter if you watch the show. But there's two couples there, two good-looking guys, two good-looking women. Well, the women go off for a night by themselves. They go to like they're in Italy, and they go to a different part of Italy. And one of the women calls her husband, and she's mad at him. And she's like, we're just going to stay the night. And he's like, you're what? You're not. And she's like, well, I rented a place here. We're going to stay here. So they're apart for the night, even though they're staying at this gorgeous 5-star resort in Italy. So the guy says to his friend, we're going to have some fun tonight. Now, they're both married. And one's a bit nerdier, and he's much more like straight arrow, would never cheat on his wife type of guy. He's married to the woman you love from Parks and Rec, Aubrey Plaza.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so they're off for the night. Okay, so now there's also two prostitutes in the hotel. All right?
As
Are
guests?
they, let me say this. Are they prostitutes?
I think they are. They're paid for sex.
Well,
Okay, all right.
let
In
me
kind
argue.
or in cash?
In lira.
Well, let me argue.
Yeah.
Are they, because one girl says, basically, I'm going to make him my boyfriend for the week.
For payment.
But he never really pays it. He just gives her access to the room and says, charge some things.
Well, in this episode, he gives her $3,000 as she leaves.
All right.
You haven't seen this one yet.
That's almost 1-to-1.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You haven't seen this one yet.
Well, damn.
So there's two really attractive prostitutes with access to the hotel now, and they see these two guys who are on their own for the night, and one of them, who's more like, I'm going to cheat on my wife, calls them over and says, what you guys partying tonight? And she goes, oh, yeah, we got some Molly, and they take some Molly.
Molly.
I don't know what that is.
That's the one you wanted. Well,
I wanted to do it.
that's kind of that's the one you wanted.
Is it sort of ecstasy, or is that ecstasy?
Yeah, but I think Molly's more pure than ecstasy, if I'm right. But either way, you end up like rubbing and touching.
Okay, well,
squeezing.
they're like looking at each other, and you can tell, oh, it's on. It's about to be on. So my wife pauses it. They're at dinner right now. They're taking the Molly. They're drinking.
So the two husbands, the two prostitutes.
That's correct.
Having dinner.
That's right. Wives are gone for the night, okay? And the one is like, we're going to party.
Is this the younger guys?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, those two guys.
Those two that are, one's married to Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're chummy. Okay.
Yeah, and they're college roommates having a vacation together. So they start taking the drugs and drinking, and they're at the bar, and they're like dancing and stuff. And my wife pauses it right in mid-dance. I mean, I was like, what? And she goes, I want to know what you would do in this situation.
Damn.
I mean, one is clearly leading. The other is clearly like tagging along, like, I shouldn't be doing this.
But he's taking the Molly?
But he took the Molly, and he's like, I should not do this. He's getting a lot of peer pressure.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, man. And they did it. And I said, I gulped.
Pop quiz.
And I said, I would extricate myself from the situation right now.
Dude.
Lies.
So right now, I would take myself out of this situation, and I would say, I appreciate your kindness, but I'm going off to the room, and I'll leave you all to do whatever you would like. And she said, my wife said, and I was like, what's left?
Oh,
and I said,
It's like she hit the stop button on the elevator of your erection.
so I said, and
I'd hydrate?
I would
say, I hear you get a lot of dry mouth.
I said, and I would no longer be friends with this person.
He's cut off.
That's right. And she smiled and she said, and
find a cathedral and pray.
And I said, and I would immediately tell you what was going on. I would call you and tell you. And she said, that's right.
Oh.
And she said, you may continue the.
You're never going to believe this. I'm high as a kite, and Chris Demm got a bunch of hookers. This might be the single greatest night of my life. Anyways, I'm glad we came to Italy. Have fun.
I'll see you in the morning, I guess. I may still be up. I don't know.
Then, oh my God. Then, okay, they go up to their separate hotel rooms, and the one guy
They're paired off.
No, one guy's by himself. The guy who's kind of the follower is by himself in the bedroom. And they cut to this scene, and he's like seeing things like, he's all over. And the other guy's banging on his door, going, "Come on, let us in." And
he's with the prostitutes.
Yes, and so he opens the door, and then it's on. Then they're in his room in this gorgeous hotel, and they're all just like all over him. And the other guy's already getting naked, and they're ready to go. And I just turned to my wife, and I said, "That would be so awful."
Isn't that awful?
I said that would be. Well, I said, what a nightmare.
This is so disappointing.
This is why we're not going to Italy, sweetheart.
Yep.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes.
She wanted to go to Italy.
You wanted to go.
You put the kibosh.
This is why.
That's right. We're not going to Italy. Obviously, we're not.
Let me just add this episode to my favorites real quick. In case I want to rewatch later.
I just said, this is a nightmare. I turned to her and said, this would be so awful. I would hate this so much. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near this. I can't believe it's even come to this. And she said, do you think you'd be strong enough to say no once they got into your hotel room? I said, absolutely. I'd be of course I'd be.
Well, you're our Johnny 11th hour buzzkill.
That's right.
Ask Mr. Zoloft.
Yeah. I'm all.
I'm still getting emails from people who said, did Kelly take the Zoloft?
No. I am too.
No.
Chicken down on Zoloft because I wanted to do what? Keep my edge. I wanted to have my edge.
In case the prostitutes show up.